So, coming to you guys with some breaking news. Phillip Schofield's brother has been convicted of some heinous crimes. And I really want to get into this video because it is very triggering for me. Hey guys, it's Murad Morali. Hope you guys are all doing well today. Back again, it is daily and consistent content. Inject it, subscribe to the channel, and let's get straight into this video. Subscribe, click that button. So, we have Phillip Schofield's brother who has basically been convicted of heinous crimes of SA, guys, when it comes to a teenage boy over a period of 3 years from the age of when this boy was 13 years old up until when he was 16. You know, this grown man was doing heinous acts to him, coercing him, grooming him, telling him to do things, etc., etc. And a jury has found him to be completely guilty of not only coercing him, but performing acts upon him as well. So, you know, it's awful that this has happened. Phillip has come out to say that he doesn't have a brother anymore, doesn't acknowledge him anymore, basically distancing himself from his brother because, of course, you know, he doesn't want to be associated with what his brother's acts have done. But I feel like, you know, for Phillip Schofield to be grooming a minor whilst being married to his wife, and it's just bizarre that, you know, he is acting as if, you know, his brother has heinous crimes and like you haven't done similar related stuff to an extent, not the same at all, but for you to be grooming minors yourselves, you know, is very, very confusing to me how this has taken place, where you've even done that, where there's videos of you with young boys going out to having food. Like, why is somebody at the age of in his 40s or 50s talking to somebody who's 18? It doesn't make any sense. And it's so triggering to me because no matter how much you talk about it or there's papers or whatever, there is no protection for the children on these streets. There is no protection for the young boys of these streets. There is no protection for the young boys of color on these streets, especially, which is why people like Phillip Schofield or his brother even get away with it. Of course, his brother has done far worse, but Phillip, you're out here with a much younger teenage boy that I don't know what you were doing in your 40s or even in your still 50s with a 19-year-old. I don't know what that is about. And the way everybody has just kind of gone over that. And it's like the older men always get away with it. And it's so annoying and frustrating how the older men, and because it's old men and young boys, the power balance is not acknowledged. The power balance, if it was somebody in their 50s dating a 19-year-old girl, whoa, this is crazy. What are you doing? You're a creep, you're this is that. But when it's somebody who's in their 40s, 50s, hiring out young boys, telling them to perform acts or paid services or whatever that they are asking for, the older men get away with it. And it's so annoying because you feel like there's no power imbalance between an older man and a young boy, that it's only between an older man and a younger girl. People get so blinded and don't acknowledge and miss these forgotten boys on these streets who are doing ridiculous things, who are getting groomed, coerced by grown-ass men, you know, and it's very frustrating. And I just find it to be triggering as hell because it's always the grown men who get away with it, especially the grown white men, but grown men in general who get away with it. Because why are you even talking to somebody that could really be your son? What are you doing? Why are you doing that? Why are you entertaining that? Why are you trying to have a relationship? Why is your brother doing this? And allegedly, Phillip knew of this in 2021 and just told him to keep quiet. Allegedly, I don't know if that's true, but you know, he's denying those claims that he didn't know what his brother was doing. I personally believe otherwise, and I think that you might have known, considering the fact that you are also dating young teenage boys. They may be of age now, 18 plus, but you're still dating teenage boys. So, you know, it's odd to me that now your brother has been convicted of horrific crimes of boys such as young as 13, and yet you didn't know any idea of it. Yet there are videos of you being seen going on dates as a 50-year-old man with 19, 20-year-old, 18-year-old boys. Why are you doing that for? And you lie to your wife as it is. So it's just frustrating to me that someone like Phillip is throwing his brother under the bus, which I feel like as he should do because his brother's been convicted with horrific crimes, but acting like you're not out here dating young boys yourselves or grooming people yourselves. Because that in itself is it's just triggering to me how the young boys, you know, it's like you get adultified, especially as a boy of color, number one. But number two, it's like nobody wants to question why grown men are even hiring out young boys, asking them to do things, telling them to, you know, grooming them, taking them out on these dates, restaurants, taking them into your home and etc. And then those young boys will grow older and be like, wait a minute, why were these men doing this to me? And etc. Like, it's really a shame how the only narrative of grooming or a minor or coercion only works for young girls. It doesn't work for anybody else. When Gemma was 19 on Love Island dating Davide, 27, nobody let that relationship run because he's 27, she's 19. But when it's a 19-year-old boy and a man in their 40s, why is nobody even blinking an eye? Why is nobody even shocked, confused, or, you know, not even thinking to themselves that, you know, this is weird, this is odd. Like, it's just frustrating. It's really frustrating how only girls get that narrative, especially girls that are not of color get that narrative even more. But this is what I'm saying. And then when the boys get forgotten, the boys are on these streets, they get picked up by these older men in their 40s, 50s, and those men in their 40s, 50s, like Philip's brother knows exactly that everybody's going to just turn a blind eye because, you know, he's a lad, he's a young boy, he's like whatever, it's okay. Not his brother, sorry, Philip, when he's dating 18, 19 year olds, it's okay because they're young boys and stuff, you know what I mean, they can look after themselves. It doesn't work like that. Do you know what I mean? So it's what the base of the video is, that Philip's brother is a top waste man, elite waste man, for you to even be hiring out young boys, for you to be even telling them, force them to do things like this. Waste man, number one. Number two, Philip, you yourself are a waste man, because obviously you're out here, like, you ain't innocent, bro. I just find you weird to be dating. I just find it weird. I will go up to a 50-year-old man saying, why are you dating a 19-year-old? Why are you doing that for? It's weird. Date your age mate. Go away. Do you know what I mean? Like, why are you dating or like hiring out or using young? Like, it's just annoying. And I just find it very frustrating how people don't understand power imbalances between older men and young boys, and how it's only for the girls. And it's really frustrating how, you know, there's only an alarming rate when it's a boy underage, whereas there are boys who, you know, are 18, 19, 20, whatever, who are very much with these grown-ass men, and they get coerced and groomed as well. And nobody wants to give that benefit to these young boys, which is why there's so many of them getting thrown into these systems used by these older men. And we as a society need to do way much more for our younger boys and girls of color who are continuously, you know, blinded, and they're not acknowledged. They're not given that hand. They're not given respect. They're not given help, not given, you know, financial or, you know, some form of security, because there's so many of these young boys of color on these streets. And I know I've completely changed the conversation, but I feel like this is more of an important message that I would rather speak about than give these two 8 minutes of my time when it comes to this video, that there's so many of these young boys on these streets and they deserve some kind of help, charity, organization, something to give them a beacon of light that they have a chance at life, other than they get lost and completely lost when these older men, you know, take these boys. So, Philip's brother, the things that you were doing, and you've been convicted of all these crimes, it's really, really sad for you to be hiring out or using or coercing minors. Now, what is that young boy going to go through when it comes to his trauma that is going to be developed from the acts that were done towards him from somebody older? Everybody thinks it ends like that. It does not end like that. What about the hypersexualization that's going to take place for this young 13-year-old, 16, 17 now? What about that? That completely gets ignored. Or, you know, the fact that his behavior is going to change completely, whether it be within side or not outside. Development of certain kind of acts as well. Like, you know, there is so much impact that this abuse trauma can really cause, sexual abuse trauma that can cause for young boys who have been implicated in this way. And there's no supportive system in the UK at all, which is why there's so many gangs of old men doing this, especially up north, everywhere. And these young boys are just going to be left with no devices to help them. Nothing. It's truly sad, man. I didn't expect this, but like, Philip, after what you did to your wife and the fact that you're dating some young boy, it's just weird to me, man. I feel the whole family's weird. If you're in your 40s, 50s, stay to your age mates. Don't be dating a 19-year-old boy, especially as grown men dating young boys. I would very much be against that, because I find it to be very wayward and odd. But because it's not a young girl, people just turn a blind eye, and it's very annoying. Anyways, let me know your thoughts are. I wanted to rant in this video and just be frustrated by, you know, what I'm seeing in the papers today. But let me know your thoughts are when it comes to this. Comment down below, and I'll catch you guys soon for another video.